Yeah, we're good to go. Heck, we're on to the Chargers, so I'll do the best I can to remember what happened yesterday. But I'll open it up.
All right, we'll go first to Sam McDowell. Go ahead, Sam.
Hey, Steve, I think I told you last year we all request that Brad keeps his camera off.
Good move.
Just because it's a Thursday game and it's such a tight turnaround, I wanted to get a little bit into how you prepare for this game. I mean, do you have to start preparing for this game even before yesterday's game arrives at all?
Yeah, well, to be honest with you, I don't venture down that road at all because from a play caller's standpoint, I've tried it before. It gets confusing. I get jersey numbers mixed up. So I didn't do anything with it. But the rest of the staff was well into it Saturday morning, maybe even some of the guys Friday afternoon. But they were just putting together things for me. And listen, Dave, Brendan, Matt, all our assistants, they pretty much know what we're looking for and what I tend to lean towards. So they've kind of gotten me ahead.
So basically, by the time you arrive today, you've got notes, all that sort of stuff kind of already waiting on you.
Yeah, they had it on my desk this morning when I came in here real early. So I started reviewing it then. We haven't done much with yesterday's game for obvious reasons because this comes really quick. But we just got out of a meeting now, and we're trying to lay out what we're going to do this afternoon and really into tomorrow morning.
Let's go next to Adam Teicher. Go ahead, Adam.
Hey, Steve, a couple things. First of all, just as a follow-up on that, do you feel like with your experience in these Thursday games that you're as prepared, your assistants are as prepared, the players are prepared as they would be for a Thursday night game as they would have been for a Sunday game? And Brad, I'll have a second question as well.
Well, I'm not so sure you can ever, because you can't get your eyes, Adam, on as much film, obviously, because real quickly here we have to feed something to the players. But one of the things I talked with the staff about this morning is, and I'll talk to the players about this afternoon, is that on like tomorrow, which is Tuesday, and Wednesday, which like is a Saturday, we have to be ready to maybe tweak, change, add. We wouldn't normally do that during a normal week. We wouldn't try to add things on a normal Friday or Saturday, but we have to treat this like we're in the game. And at halftime, we made an adjustment. I think the guys just have to have that mindset when the week is really, really short.
Okay. And this season on defense has been remarkable to me because of the number of guys who maybe weren't playing well early in the season that all of a sudden are. I think probably after yesterday's game, Mike Hughes has to go in that category, right? What told you that Mike was a good choice to replace L'Jarius and that he was going to respond yesterday?
Well, I tell you what, first of all, what Dave Merritt and Sam Madison do with him, and I've watched Mike this whole season, and not one time, even when maybe things didn't go great early and he wasn't getting as many reps and Rashad stepped in there, Mike just kept on working. I mean, not one, he was a pro about it. And I think he knows, he's been in the league long enough to know that at some point his number was going to be called and he was ready for it. And I thought he did a really good job yesterday as well.
Let's go next to Pete Sweeney. Go, Pete.
Coach, the second look at Justin Herbert, how far do you feel like he's come in these two seasons, and what are the difficulties in preparing for what he does?
This guy, I'll tell you, I am, every time I turn the tape on, I'm amazed at how good he is. Accurate. He's big. He's athletic. Really smart. I mean, he's the whole package. I think, it's been a while. I have a lot of respect for Derek Carr. We did a good job yesterday. But this guy is going to be a real challenge for us. And I know our guys expect that. He makes that whole thing go. This is one of the elite quarterbacks, in my opinion.
Let's go next to Mick Schaefer. Go ahead, Mick.
Hey, Steve, 3 straight games of 9 points allowed, and you have the 6 straight of 17 or less. You've coached a lot of great defenses. I'm sure you've had stretches like this. When was the last time you've had a stretch like this points-wise for a defense?
Well, I don't listen. I don't want to jinx anything because we want to keep doing it. In answer to your question, the only one that pops in my mind is in 2019. I think we had back-to-back 3-point games because I remember somebody saying that it was the first time Andy had a team that had that. So listen, that's great. The only thing is we can't take it with us for this game. We're hoping to duplicate that, but I do think this offense we're getting ready to play is one of the better ones we're going to play all year long. I really feel that way. I'm glad the guys have done what they've done, and when it's all said and done, it really does come down to points allowed. That's what we're most focused on.
Let's go next to Seren Petro. Go ahead, Seren.
Brad, I'll have a quick follow-up. Coach, a lot of conversation about how your defenses get better. There have been a lot of people that have covered you for quite some time that say, hey, that's one of the things you can count on, a Steve Spagnuolo defense getting better. Why is that? And do you ever look at it and say, well, we're slow starters, right? What's the difference between getting better and, why you can't say be what you are today there on week one?
Yeah, there's a lot to it, but I will say this. I mean, the only reason we're able to do it in any of these years is because of the assistant coaches, in my opinion. Guys that believe in what we're doing, and then they get their players to buy in, and it's rep after rep after rep after rep. I mean, I'm fortunate in that way that we have guys that have been together, and we know that, listen, when we're not doing well, we know why, and our coaches get it fixed, and that's the greatest thing about having the crew that we have. I'm talking about the coaches, and then you just add to that players that embrace it. They don't give up. They don't give in. They don't point fingers. Those two elements have been the biggest thing and the reason we've been able to do what we do. And we just got to continue to do that.
And how, I don't know if excited is the right word, right? You like your job, so I'm sure you're excited for every team that you play. But first time around, no Frank Clark, no Charvarius Ward, no Willie Gay, and of course Melvin Ingram wasn't on the team. Lot more, clubs in the bag to attack this time.
Yeah. Serena, until you had just said that, I hadn't even realized that. Quite really, in all honesty. Well, I hope that tips it the other way then, because we certainly need to play better defense than the last time we played them. But I think a lot of that had to do with how good they were, not necessarily the guys we had out there. But I'm hoping that we can continue to do what we're doing and function as a unit and go out there and try to help our organization win a game.
We've got time for two more. We'll go Matt, Derek, and then Herbie. Go ahead, Matt.
Hey, Coach, appreciate your time on a short week.
Sure.
I wanted to go back to Saturday when you get the tragic news about L'Jarius and his family. And what's the timeline for you as far as, changing your game plan and getting it so that guys like Mike Hughes and Tyron are ready to step in and take some of his duties and change your game plan essentially in 24 hours?
Yeah. First of all, my heart goes out to L'Jarius. I love that young man. And I know he's going through a hard time right now. It happened quick. We're fortunate in that we have a guy like Tyron who can listen. We asked him to do a lot of things, and we asked him to go play nickel where he didn't get hardly any reps during the week. And it was exciting that we got Rashad Fenton back. That helped, and we didn't know whether we were going to get him or not until yesterday morning. So I would just credit all of the guys rallying around together, along with the coaches that coach on the back end there, Dave and Sam, in getting that done, because that wasn't easy. And certainly our D-line, I think, took it upon themselves, knowing that there were some moving pieces back there to take control of things up front. And they did that right from the beginning. So it was great to see.
We'll ask to Herbie. Go ahead, Herbie.
Hey, Coach, good afternoon. It's noon now, so I can say good afternoon.
Okay, you got it. 12:01 on my clock. So you're good.
Sort of a follow-up to Matt, because Matt actually stole my question there. But you mentioned the quick turnaround there with Matthew playing the slot and something being limited last week, short week this week. If he's able to put in full practices, how much does that adjust what you want to do in that slot cornerback if Fenton can go?
Yeah. Yeah, we gotta check out and see where Rashad is right now. So it's all more of a challenge with the short week. Coach Reed does a great job with taking care of these guys as we segue through these next couple of days. So there'll be a lot less on their bodies from a physical standpoint. And right now it's really just mental. Let's see who we can line up in certain spots to have it mentally, who has the foundational reps in a certain position, and then go forward. Again, I would go back to crediting those guys on the back end for doing what they did yesterday in a short period of time. It was really, it was concerning for me going in. I mean, that's just how you are as a coach, right? When all of a sudden you lose one of your best players. But they, next guy stepped up, and I thought a bunch of guys did a nice job back there.
Coach Spags, we appreciate the time. Thanks for joining us.
Okay. My pleasure. Where am I going?